Wedding bells and restless feet. It's been 2 years since James, Ice Cube, and Kevin Hart took down the Atlanta cartel. Ben is now a full-fledged detective, but still clumsy and overeager. He's planning a long-overdue honeymoon with Angela, but James insists crime never takes a vacation. During a routine bust, Ben accidentally uncovers encrypted files linked to an international smuggling ring. Angela warns Ben not to get sucked into another case before the wedding. James just smirks, knowing Ben will. The smuggling twist, the files point to a syndicate operating out of Miami, moving stolen tech across borders. Their leader is a mysterious figure known only as the Broker. Ben sees it as his chance to prove he's ready for big leagues, international cases included. James is ordered to keep an eye on him and not to let him embarrass the badge. Ben suggests they combine the honeymoon with the case, horrifying Angela. The captain reluctantly greenlights the Miami trip, with Angela tagging along. Welcome to Miami Trouble. In Miami, Ben's attempts at blending in to draw instant attention from locals and criminals alike. They meet Detective Sophia Reyes, a sharp, no-nonsense officer who's been chasing the broker for years. She's unimpressed with Ben, but begrudgingly works with them. A night surveillance mission turns chaotic when Ben mistakes a jet ski gang for smugglers. They crash into an actual drop-off, scattering contraband everywhere. The broker's men spot them, sparking a chase through the docks. First real lead, James recovers a piece of experimental hardware from the scene, a military-grade data drive. Sophia explains the device can override airport and harbor security systems. Ben accidentally activates it, triggering alarms across the harbor. Now every smuggler in Miami knows they're in town. Angela, furious, demands Ben pick between honeymoon and crime fighting. Ben insists, "I can do both. Multitasking is my middle name." Meet the broker's right hand. The investigation leads them to Marcus Kane, the broker's enforcer. Kane is tall, intimidating, and loves making examples out of cops. Ben tries an undercover approach at a high-end yacht party, but blows his cover in seconds. James and Sophia back him up, leading to a wild fight that spills into the water. Kane escapes, but Ben steals his phone. Dripping wet but proud. Inside are GPS coordinates in the Bahamas. The honeymoon detour. Angela reluctantly agrees to extend the honeymoon to the Bahamas if it means ending the case. Ben books a flashy beachfront suite, turning it into his field office. James grumbles that Ben treats detective work like a reality show. They stake out a remote warehouse where Kane is meeting contacts. Ben sneaks inside using a delivery disguise, but accidentally triggers a drone security system. The trio barely escapes in a stolen golf cart. The big shipment. The GPS logs reveal the broker is moving his largest shipment yet, a mix of weapons and stolen tech. It's set to leave in 48 hours via a disguised cruise ship. James wants to coordinate with federal agents, but Ben insists they act fast before the trail goes cold. Sophia sides with James, leaving Ben feeling sidelined. Angela surprisingly encourages Ben, saying he's got instincts, just bad execution. Ben hatches a risky plan without telling James. Ben's solo move. Ben sneaks onto the cruise ship posing as a stand-up comic for the onboard entertainment. He plants trackers on shipping containers but gets caught mid-act by Kane. Kane locks him in the ship's brig, taunting him about James. James and Sophia discover Ben's gone and storm the harbor to board the ship. Angela, refusing to be left out, sneaks aboard disguised as a passenger. Chaos is inevitable. Cruise ship mayhem. James finds Ben mid-interrogation with Kane just as the ship leaves port. A brawl erupts in the cargo hold, with Ben using his comedian moves to dodge attacks. Angela distracts guards by causing a fake fire alarm in the casino. Kane escapes again, but the team discovers the container holding the broker's mobile command center. Inside are blueprints for ports around the world. Ben realizes the broker's operation is much bigger than Miami. Identity of the broker using the blueprints. Sophia cross-references with customs data and finds a link to Adrian Wolf, a respected shipping tycoon. James has suspected Wolf for years but could never prove it. Ben thinks they can lure him out by making him believe Kane flipped on him. They send an encrypted message from Kane's phone arranging a meeting in Nassau. Wolf takes the bait, but brings an entire security army. The stage is set for a high-risk sting. The Nassau setup the meet is in a luxury hotel rooftop bar overlooking the marina. Ben is disguised as Kane with questionable makeup work from Angela. James hides in the crowd, Sophia monitoring from a van. Wolf quickly spots the ruse but plays along to see where it goes. Ben tries to bluff, accidentally spilling intel he shouldn't know. Wolf orders his men to grab him, triggering a rooftop gunfight. Rooftop escape James and Ben leap across rooftops under heavy fire, sliding down hotel banners to the street. Sophia intercepts them in a stolen speedboat with Angela already on board. They race through Nassau's harbor, chased by Wolf's men in sleek black boats. Ben throws crates of tropical fruit at their pursuers, actually knocking one boat off course. They escape, but Wolf now knows their faces and intentions. Back in Miami, the captain threatens to pull the plug. Going rogue, James decides to go off the books, knowing Wolf will disappear if they wait for warrants. Ben is thrilled. Finally, we're partners for real. They track Wolf's supply chain to a Miami warehouse scheduled for a midnight loadout. Angela insists on helping, providing a distraction at the front gate. Ben and James slip in through the loading docks, planting bugs on the trucks. But Kane catches them again, this time armed and ready. Final Showdown Part 1 Kane forces James and Ben into a container, planning to ship them overseas as inventory. Ben triggers the data drive from earlier, unlocking the container's electronic locks. A brutal fight breaks out, with James taking on Kane while Ben fends off two goons. Ben accidentally activates a crane, lifting Kane into the air mid-brawl. The police arrive, alerted by Sophia, but Wolf flees through the back exit. Ben chases him into the yard. Final Showdown Part 2, Wolf tries to escape in a black SUV, but Ben jumps onto the hood. James joins in, forcing Wolf into a dead-end alley. Wolf pulls a gun, but Angela appears behind him with a taser, ending it instantly. The police take Wolf and Kane into custody. The captain congratulates the team, even Ben. Wrapping up the case, Sophia thanks James and Ben for their help, admitting Ben's persistence surprised her. Ben brags about his undercover skills until James shuts him down with one look. Angela finally gets her proper honeymoon in Miami since Ben spent the budget chasing criminals. James actually relaxes for once, enjoying a beach day with the couple. Ben jokes about a ride along 4, the honeymoon heist. James mutters, "Over my dead body." The commendation ceremony back in Atlanta, the mayor holds a ceremony for the takedown of the broker. Ben gives a long, rambling speech about teamwork and marriage. James keeps it short, just saying, "We did our job." Angela rolls her eyes, but is clearly proud of them both. Sophia sends a postcard from the Bahamas with a single word, "Partners?" Ben grins, imagining another trip. Loose ends in the shadows, a news broadcast reveals that one of Wolf's laptop drives is missing. The camera cuts to an unknown figure in a dark office, plugging the drive into a computer. The figure studies surveillance photos of James and Ben. They close the laptop with a smirk. The broker's network may not be fully dead. Ben unknowingly walks past the figure in a Miami airport flashback. Life back to a normal, James goes back to routine detective work, but Ben keeps trying to insert himself into other cases. Angela makes him promise at least 6 months of no ride along adventures. He agrees, then gets a call from Sophia about a small job in Puerto Rico. James already knows what's coming and shakes his head. Ben insists it's just a vacation. Cut to James and Ben in another high-speed chase. Post-credit scene, tease for Ride Along 4 in a dimly lit warehouse. A man answers a call. They took Wolf down. The voice on the other end says, "And then bring me the comedians alive." The man opens a weapons case, revealing passports with James and Ben's faces. He tosses them into a duffel bag next to stacks of cash. Outside, the sound of a cargo plane starting up echoes. Cut to black. Highs cut to black.